And now, another episode of MMA Gossip with your boys.
Boom. We're live, baby. MMA Gossip, episode number 35. Well, one man short today. Matt is doing his thing. I think he's in Idaho, right? I kept saying Iowa, but he's in Idaho doing his thing, hiking some mountains with the boys. Anyways, we're back. We're not missing a week. My voice just cracked. Episode 35, MMA Gossip, at MMA X Gossip on all socials, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, or just MMA Gossip. So you should give us a like, comment on this video, subscribe if you're new, and yeah, we're just gonna get right into it. We got a lot of shit to talk about. The MMA world, as you know, never fucking sleeps. We get into UFC, Bellator, some journalism issues, Leon Edwards, Masvidal, not even Masvidal, Usman, just fucking everyone, Poirier, Ferguson, Chandler, the whole nine. So without further ado, episode 35.
Yo, it's crazy how every week there really is an unlimited amount of shit to talk about. Makes our life easier, baby. We don't got to go dig too much. All right, let's talk about Holly Holm. Holly Holm completely dominates Irene Aldana. Probably a 50. I don't remember the scorecard, but it could have been a 50-44 in there. Obviously.
Yeah, well, I think there was one mixed in.
Yeah, I mean, like I got to say, Ariel was right in the sense that he said she's never looked as good as she did that night. But let's take a slow down here with the title shot. You know, I want to see Jermaine Durandamy run it back with her maybe before then, because Jermaine had a crazy awesome win too, submission over what's her name?
Juliana Pena.
Yeah, that's
who saw that coming. I did not.
So yeah, what do you think
about Holly Holm? I mean, good for her, right? Holly Holm, the perennial number one contender, it seems like. She gets title shots off one win, so if she did get a title shot, I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said last episode, Dana loves her because she pulls numbers clearly. That's why she's the main event, you know? I obviously don't have too heavy of an interest in seeing it. I would love the Durandamy rematch, and it seems like it's tailor-made. They both won on the same night. Their calendars line up perfectly. Like, that's the fight, you know? And then if Holly won that fight, then you know what? Durandamy coming off the title lost, then a win, boom. All right, Holly, here's your – I wonder what title shot it is. So she got the shot against Ronda, what title fight. She got the shot against Ronda, lost to Miesha Tate. Then she fought Nunes. She fought Durandamy. She fought Cyborg. She's had at least 5 title shots.
I want to bring something up real quick about Ariel Helwani talking about Holly Holm. What did you think about – he tweeted out, he goes, I'm glad – I'm usually not fired up about the post-fight performance bonuses, but Holly Holm had an incredible performance, and she wasn't part of the performance bonuses. And then it turns out that the kids who got the performance bonuses were either debutantes or low-ranked guys, where that $50,000 can make a huge statement in the course of their lives, whereas Holly Holm is essentially a millionaire already and doesn't really need it. So where do you fall on when it comes to like that, like really thin fence where I know it's subjective, I know sometimes it's political, but I do like it when the debutantes or like the nitty gritty guys really get that performance bonuses, because Casey Kenny had an absolute destruction over Hailey Alatang. You know, there was a bunch of awesome performances, finishes, and then you have someone as notable and trustworthy, quote unquote, as Ariel Helwani in the journalism game saying that. What do you think about that?
I think I saw him actually catch a decent amount of slack about it. And I wouldn't have been the first person to jump out and give him slack for it. Like, that's his opinion. He's entitled to his opinion, whatever. I like seeing those, lower ranked guys, the newer guys, the younger guys get bonuses rather than main event spots, especially for example, UFC 253, obviously, Israel Adesanya deserved a bonus. But he got $500K just to show up, plus all that spot. He made millions of dollars in that fight. So did he really need the $50K bonus, which, after taxes, all said and done, he's going to make fucking $30, $35K? Like, did that really help him as much as it helped someone, working 2 jobs as a fucking waiter opening up the prelims who also had an amazing performance, So I like seeing the new guys get it. I have no problem with the way it happened. I mean, and I know Dana's been pretty open with putting out videos online asking for fan input, like, who do you think should get the bonus? So maybe he was getting a lot of responses, him, Sean Shelby, McMader, maybe, because I know Dana doesn't make the decision himself. The matchmakers help him. But maybe those guys got a lot of, people's opinions online, fans' opinions, and they thought that Holly Holm didn't deserve it. So, you know what? And I'm sure they had their minds somewhat made up before the main event. And boom, there you go. I have no problem with it whatsoever.
I feel you, bro. How about you talked about this earlier in the week in our group text, and I'm actually glad you brought it up because I didn't think about it until you brought it up. Was the fact that Ariel was trying to push for? I know this is totally off topic. Ariel's trying to, we're gossiping. Fuck it. Ariel's trying to push Burns to get that match with Leon Edwards because he quote unquote he doesn't want to sit out for more than 7 months. Meanwhile, in my brain, my opinion, I'm just gonna let it off here. If you're guaranteed a title shot, where it's life-changing money, life-changing in general, are you really going to give up that shot to go fight Leon Edwards?
No, and my thing with the whole Leon Edwards situation is Leon Edwards hasn't fought, I think, since June of 2019. So why would Gilbert Burns not want to wait 7 months when Leon Edwards has already waited, 14, 15 months?
Mm-hmm.
So it's 15 months right now, right? And say he gets booked, even if he got booked today for a month from now, that's 16 months out of the octagon. Year and a half out of the octagon is not ideal. Like I don't think, and we're going off topic here, like you said, rambling a little bit. I don't think that Leon Edwards deserves the next title shot. He got the shot against RDA. RDA was ranked 5th. Leon Edwards was ranked 12th. He beat RDA and shot up the rankings, and that's his last win, right? Beats RDA, shoots up the rankings. He's ranked 3rd now. Wonder Boy was offered a fight against him and accepted. Wonder Boy's ranked 5th. Leon Edwards is 3rd. Leon Edwards turned it down because he said it doesn't do anything for him. What do you mean a top 5 opponent doesn't do anything for you? Sitting on the shelf definitely isn't doing anything for you. When they're about to scrap the BMF belt, and it's all likelihood it's looking like Colby and Usman or Colby and Masvidal are going to fight. I would literally say the loser of that fight would get a title shot before fucking Leon Edwards at this current moment in the landscape of MMA, the way the game works now. So, Leon Edwards, get busy, dude. But yeah, to answer your question about Ariel, I don't know. That's like conspiracy theory, wear the tinfoil hat. I said it, so I'll put my tinfoil hat right on. But
put it on. Tell us. I want to hear you say it because you were bringing up great points before.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's just funny that Ariel all of a sudden doesn't want to have as many guests on his show, and it's kind of not scrapping, but scrapping like the Ariel Helwani's MMA show with the MMA Hour used to be, when you got guys like Usman and Habib and Cejudo and Gaethje, who are all represented by Ali under Dominance MMA, aren't doing interviews on his show. Now he's having less guests and always seems to be pushing for either their opponent or, Ariel tries to stay by somewhat unbiased. It kind of seems like he's pushing for Leon to get that fight so he could stir up some controversy. And obviously by doing that and putting out those tweets, Leon Edwards is going to be buddy-buddy with Ariel and give him those interviews and get on his show. So tinfoil hat is on in full effect.
Hey, man, there's always an agenda. And I agree. Ariel Helwani is almost always one of the most unbiased guys when it comes to, saying something publicly, or whether it be on his show, whether it be a tweet. He's usually really good about that. But everybody has an agenda. Everybody has a bias, and everybody has like those hidden feelings of maybe he was a little hurt by this Ali Abdelaziz situation, and it causes him to maybe he doesn't even realize it. I'm sure he does. He's a smart guy. But hey, I mean, Ariel Helwani's doing his thing. I don't blame him for doing it. Like, fuck
Me
it,
neither,
right?
dude. That's what I'm saying. I don't blame him for doing it, but he's doing and he's been so unbiased the fact where he'll have 2 guys who are fighting each other on the show one after another, and they'll both give him inside scoops, tell them, emotional stories, the whole nine, and then the opponent's on 10 minutes later. And it's honestly an art at how he manages to just not show any bias whatsoever, not show favoritism either way, not have his emotions come into it on either side, and not let his opponents get mad at him for anything. He never says one negative thing about another person, and you can go back and you almost never catch him slipping. So it's an art. He mastered it. That's why he's making more money at home than he is traveling, going to pay-per-views like he used to be covering them. So good for him. Him and DC's show is taking off, and that makes me happy. Like seeing him and DC shooting up ESPN's rankings. Like I always say, I root for the sport. So anything MMA on ESPN blowing up is only good news for all of us. It's
The fastest growing sport the fastest growing
baby.
show on ESPN, man. I watch it every Monday.
Yeah.
So, all right, you want to get into a little bit Corey Sandhagen and Marlon Moraes?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, baby. So let's go co-main first. We got Edson Barbosa fighting at 145, his second bout. First bout was a close loss to Danny Ige.
Yeah.
Going up against a late replacement, Makwan Americani. All right, and he's coming off a nice win over Danny Henry, a first-round submission. So let's start with this. The odds are pretty lopsided. You got a plus 215 on Makwan Americani. How do you see this fight going?
So I'm actually just logging off my real job. People are saying goodbye. So I'm like, bye, see ya.
Let's make this our real
Doing my
job. So
fun
everybody,
job. Exactly.
like, comment, subscribe now, please. It would help us a bunch in the future.
Sponsors, help us out. Look, my headphones are falling apart. I got black flakes in my ears from these poopy things. I'm using my Mac that I got as a senior in high school. I help the boys out, seriously. But anyway, with that being said, yeah, Makwan took this fight on how long of notice?
That's a good question. I don't know, but it was relatively recently.
Right.
Very recently.
And he's got a okay gas tank. I definitely wouldn't say it's good. I think against Shane Burgos, who definitely gassed out a little bit. I saw that coming into play against Danny Henry, which obviously he stopped that early, and that wasn't an issue. But here, I think and Edson himself doesn't have the best gas tank either. I think it's going to be a little bit of both of them fading in the third round. But I just think Edson folds against the best competition, and I don't think that Makwan is the best competition, especially on shorter notice. Granted, this is at 145, and I think that's going to affect Edson's performance a little bit. I think he's still going to pull out the W. The odds show that, although I do think it's a bit wide. I think Edson gets it done. Maybe a finish like Shane Burgos in the start of the third round of Makwan and Shane Burgos. That was like, it almost looked like Makwan didn't want to come out to start the third round. He was totally gassed at the end of the second. And we've seen guys even like Dan Hooker, who's the toughest fucking dude in the entire planet, got stopped by Edson Barbosa. So I don't know. I just see Edson pulling out this victory, especially him and Marlon. I actually put stock into stupid things. Him and Marlon grew up together. They've known each other. You know, they're both in their early 30s, and they've known each other since they were like 11, or I think maybe even younger than that. And them fighting the main co-main is just an awesome story. So I just see Edson pull out the W here.
And I'm with you. I agree. I do. If I had to pick someone to win, I'm picking Edson. The thing is, Makwan is one of those specialist guys. Like when we talk about specialists, we think about, Damian Maia, we think about Mackenzie Dern, we think about specialists in the stand-up game. We think about, Israel Adesanya and, Mirko Krokop to an extent way back in the day. But the thing is, Makwan is a live dog here, and if you are putting money down, I would put it on Makwan by submission, because I really do think that's the only way that he wins this fight. But I'm with you, Barbosa all the way. I'm a fan. I just saw on MMAfighting.com, or it was an interview about him. He got a message from his kid saying, "Go, Dad! I can't wait for you to go win," or something like that, something along the lines of that. And he got all teary-eyed and stuff. And you'd like to see that.
That's cool. You love to see that.
Yeah, he's a UFC legend. I'm going to be rooting for him. That cut to 145, I'm still not sure how he made it, but he did look decent.
Decent. He had a 37 pack.
37 pack, yeah. So going for Edson, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
Main event. We got Corey Sandhagen. Slight favorite, I think like minus 130 over Marlon Moraes. And, Marlon, I think he's relatively underperformed in the UFC. He went 3 split decisions, and you can make the argument that he lost those. And if he had lost those, he would have a losing record in the UFC. So I think that a lot of the love is coming in on Moraes, but I feel like the sharps are kind of on Sandhagen. How do you see this fight going?
Dude, so every time I think about it, I swear to God, every single day this week, I've had a different pick. If you ask me, so it depends on what day you fucking ask me for me to tell you who I think is going to win the fight. I think this fight's one of my favorite fights, like, in a while. Like, I think the last time, well, I mean, it wasn't that long ago, but Woodley and Colby, I was fucking amped for, and I have that same feeling for this fight. And I feel like there's nothing this fight's not being talked about at all. Usually the fight after a pay-per-view is not talked about. So like in Holly Holm and Irene Aldana follows with a pay-per-view. Okay, great. No one's talking about that anyway. But now this fight seems like something that you'd be really fucking hyping up. And I really haven't heard, like, even online, like MMA Twitter, like no one seems to be excited about this. And I am like through the roof excited. Anyway, Marlon, explosive as fuck, super quick. And then you have Corey on the other side, who's just fucking durable. He can take those shots, bring you into deep water, like eating shots from guys like John Lineker and just dragging you into deeper water and winning those fights. And he was probably a big underdog in that fight, I'm assuming. But who else is it? Yuri Alcantara, he was, in deep submissions, deep water, and just survives. Like, Corey Sandhagen thrives in deep water, and I think Marlon folds in deep water. And this is a 5-round fight, and I just think that over the course of 5 rounds, Corey's gonna just outlast Marlon and get the W here. I don't know if he stops him or maybe he does, make it like a late submission when Marlon's tired, something along those lines. Totally see that happening. So I think if it makes it like out of the first round, I just see this. Every second that ticks away favors Corey to win.
Yeah, I can see a kind of similar situation to the Cejudo fight where Marlon comes out and thoroughly beats Sandhagen in the first round. And then Sandhagen kind of has to readjust, kind of hope that Marlon kind of, blew his gas tank a little bit in the first round. And then from there on out, like, how can it not be Corey's fight to win? I do think he has a significant ground game. His ground game is really underrated. Granted, he lost to Aljamain Sterling, but Sterling's on a different level right now. So that you can't really put that against him.
Dude, give him his fucking title shot.
Absolutely.
We'll talk about that after. Keep going.
No, you're right, though.
I had to say
so
it.
I am going to pick Sandhagen. Marlon Moraes is known to fade, quote unquote. I don't want to say fold. I feel like I say that too much, but if the fight goes on a little bit later, like he looked a little bit hairy in that Jose Aldo fight, and he clearly folded against Henry Cejudo. So I think Sandhagen comes out here with a good game plan coming out of Elevation Fight Team, with Gaethje and all those monsters over there. I mean, come on. Sandhagen should win this fight and get a top contender fight next and hopefully fight for the belt after that.
I'm fucking stoked for this fight, dude. I literally can't contain my excitement. I don't know why. I was like, is this just fucking me? Like, why is no one talking about this? Why am I so fucking excited for this fight? Like, I don't know. I'm just ready for this fight. I'm pulling up right now. I'm going to pull up the bantamweight rankings. So, obviously, Petr Yan, the champ. Aljo, Marlon Moraes is actually ranked 1. Aljo's 2. But, I mean, he does have a win over him, so I get it. But Aljo's just too hot right now. Marlon lost to Cejudo and then beat Aldo, and those are his last 2 fights. Like, I don't know. Anyway, Cody Garbrandt is ranked 3rd. Is this real life?
Dude, those rankings are fucking stupid.
Dude, is this real life? This is dude, what? Cody Garbrandt was supposed to fight fucking Figgy and now pulled out. He still hasn't said why yet, right? I haven't seen.
No, I think he had torn bicep or something like that.
Oh, I didn't even see that. I saw it was undisclosed and it was an injury. And so, all right. Corey Sandhagen's 4th. Frankie Edgar's 5th. Dang. That would be cool. Sandhagen and Edgar were supposed to fight, so maybe he gets that fight because Frankie and Marlon have both said they will never fight each other, which is totally understandable and respectable. Totally. Pedro Munoz is right there. Aldo's 7th. Sunsao. Cruz is 10th. Damn, things you never expect to see. You know what I mean? Marlon Vera, 15.
Yeah, baby.
Marlon Vera deserves a big fight next. Anyway, I just wanted to look at that, but damn. Aljo, get that fucking title shot, dude. Like, what are they waiting for at this point, bro?
I think they're waiting for – this is a crazy – I saw this on Twitter multiple times. It's like they're waiting for the winner of this fight to see who they're going to put up against Petr Yan. So I think if Marlon wins, they want Marlon versus Petr Yan. If Sterling wins, if Sandhagen wins, I think then Aljamain is going to get the title shot. Something along the lines. I'm not sure what the train of thought was there, but I did see that, and I think I hold some weight, man. Because why would they wait this long to announce a next fight against Petr Yan? So
especially because UFC 256, Usman just pulled out, so it's like,
yeah,
it's like tailor made. You know what I mean? Because Figgy's already booked. Volkanovski, I don't know what they're waiting for on that. Probably going to announce Holloway 3 because Holloway pulls numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Lightweight's already booked. Welterweight just fell out. Middleweight just fought. Light heavyweight just fought. Stipe, he'll probably wait another 6 years to fight again.
Yep.
Nunez is booked. Weili Zhang. I want to see what's up with Weili.
Yeah, that's true too.
Her and Rose, it's like basically already made. And Valentina, I know she was on the Schmoes show. She said she's not fighting on Fight Island only because they don't have a date in November. So it's looking like she's going to be fighting relatively soon also. So we shall see. And I saw Cynthia Calvillo called out Lauren Murphy yesterday.
Yeah, they're scheduled to fight.
Yeah, she handpicked her, I should say. Sorry. She said she handpicked Lauren Murphy. So who the fuck is Valentina going to fight? Because Caitlin Chookagian's ranked 1st, but Caitlin Chookagian's booked against newcomer to the division, or I get what's her name? Little D's Jessica Andrade. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see, baby. All right, that's it from I have a couple more notes, but we'll hit these at the end.
Yeah.
You have something you want?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Bellator 248, baby.
Yeah.
I think it's the 10th, right? I'm bad with dates. October 10th is Saturday. Saturday's the 10th. Saturday, the 10th. They are in France, which is big news. France finally legalized MMA. Not as of a big deal. I don't know if that even made sense what I just said. As getting legalized in New York when they were able to sell out the Garden, the whole nine. But Bellator's in France, and it's important to note that Bellator is the first one allowed in France. So that's pretty big, good for fucking Bellator. They're doing it because I know it would have been a big deal if the UFC got there. They'd try to headline that card with Ngannou, and that would be a barn burner. But anyway, Bellator did it first. The way they're setting up is Bellator does their own fucking thing. So Bellator 248 is technically headlined by MVP. I want to tell you the times right. It's supposed to be at I think it's 11 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, the card, and then later on in the afternoon it's Czech Congo and Timothy Johnson, but they're calling it it's basically like a different fight card, but there's only 2 fights on the main card, and Czech Congo is the main event, obviously because he's French. But yeah, so like I said, I was right with the times as well. So it's MVP versus Ross Houston. Ross Houston's like a prospect that Bellator's been trying to push. I already talked about all this on a previous podcast, so go check that out, like that one, and comment on that one as well. But MVP is their staple, big name. Bellator's obviously, since they're not putting out as many cards, is trying to really promote their top guys. So Czech Congo sells tickets for them. It's in France. Obviously, I don't know what the fuck the deal is with fans over there, but they're not going to have fans. But it's just a big deal that they're in France. Posters on the street. They'll get the name out there. They've been doing pretty good. Like they were just in Italy, and James Gallagher, if we want to talk about that, just won by submission in the first round, did his thing. He deserves a big fight now. Like Ricky Bandejas was a bit of a setback. He said emotions got the best of him. I'll give him, benefit of the doubt because he really does end every fight in pretty dramatic fashion. He does not go to decisions. He wins by submission almost every time he goes out there. This last fight against Cal was the 3rd time. I think it was maybe even the 4th time that they were supposed to be scheduled to fight. Each one pulled out once, then COVID, and then they were finally fought, and it was super one-sided. Gallagher did exactly what he was supposed to do. Went out there, got the job done really quickly in the first round, looked good doing it, and he's calling for a title shot. And honestly, I don't think he's that far away. I think maybe they could give it to him just based on name and face recognition. But I think maybe one more against like a true top contender in Bellator, and he's right there, man.
What do you think about? Do you think they would do something along the lines of like a rematch with Ricky Bandejas to avenge that loss and then put him in a title shot? Because I think Ricky got a little lucky that night.
I do too. Obviously, that was not Bellator's plan. Having James Gallagher literally go to sleep, but I don't know. Bandejas is coming off a loss. I think he's lost 2 out of his last 3. Excuse me. So I don't see what that does too much for Gallagher, but he's been calling for that. So Bellator will Bellator, and Bandejas just headlined against Sergio Pettis rather. So, he's obviously a Bellator staple. He got that name recognition by beating James Gallagher, obviously, and good for him. New Jersey guy. He's from Brick. Love him. Love the dude. And I could definitely see them making that rematch. And, they both have name value. It would definitely be a main event. It would probably be in Europe. So we shall see. But other than that, there's literally no names of note on either one of these cards because, like I said, they're technically 2 different cards. It's at the Accor Arena. That's what I wanted to see. So they're calling it Bellator ES, which is Euro Series 10, is the Czech Congo fight. But which is so weird is the poster is Czech Congo and Timothy Johnson, Ross Houston, and MVP. But MVP and Ross Houston aren't on that event. So it makes no sense, but they're technically 2 different fights. One's at 11 o'clock in the morning. The other's starts at 2 p.m. So Czech Congo will really be fighting around probably like close to 6 o'clock. But good for Czech, man.
He's put his fucking time in, man. This is probably the biggest fight of his life.
Yeah, literally.
Because he always gets so close to the top and then just never gets there. And here we are now. Fighting in Paris, first time ever. How old is he? Like 44?
Dude. Let me look right now. He's gonna live on forever because of that fucking Pat Barry knockout.
Yo, insane.
45, dude.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Jesus Christ. He still looks like an action figure too, which is hilarious.
Yeah, he's He's
on all of the steroids. Dude.
Yeah, he's on a pristine diet.
Of Mexican supplements, dude.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Scott Coker's his friggin' plug.
Yep.
Timothy Johnson looks terrible. Oh
He
my
always
God.
does, but props to him too for getting this fight.
Yeah, dude. Seriously, good for them.
Yeah.
Love to see it. Other than that, just some points I wanted to hit on, just some, big names, big name recognition. So we kind of have a trilogy going on. Not a trilogy. I don't know what the fuck the word trifecta, maybe. I don't fucking know. Dustin Poirier, Tony Ferguson, Michael Chandler. It seems like two of those three are going to be matched up against each other, and soon. I know that they were trying to get Chandler versus Dustin, then Dustin versus Tony, then Tony versus Chandler. So like I said, trifecta going on over here, trying to be the co-main under Habib Gaethje in case there's a pullout. Now it seems Michael Chandler is the only substitute. So if he's going up Fight Island and going to be ready, Tony's always ready and he's calling for a fight. So it's looking like it might be them two. I don't know what the Conor McGregor Dustin Poirier thing, just gone with the breeze. You know what I mean?
Yep,
That's
gone.
old news. It's like we were saying at the beginning of the show with MMA, that just seems like it's old news now. So I don't know. Honestly, out of those three, who would you want to see? If you could match any of the three of them, who would you want to see?
That's such a good question, man.
I
They're
know.
all so
Eddie, right?
entertaining. I guess if I would have to lean one way, it definitely wouldn't be Poirier versus Tony, because I really do think that Poirier would win that fight with his boxing, and I think it would be more competitive if we saw Chandler versus Tony or Chandler versus Poirier. So it comes down to that, and I guess I would lean with Chandler versus Tony. Let's get it.
I feel that, dude. So here's my take on it. You know me, Chrissy Bellator. My whole thing is I don't know what, my heart keeps changing because, do I want Chandler to come in and, say Chandler came in and beat Tony Ferguson, everyone, Bellator, that brings them up a lot. That raises their stock a lot. So that would be cool to see. But then, I cannot in my right mind root against Tony Ferguson. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't want to be oh, the UFC is always better. I mean, obviously it is. That's a fucking fact. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to see Bellator get belittled either. You know what I mean? He belongs up there with these guys, which is awesome to see. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. That just seems like that's going on. So that's big news. Both them three have huge name value, huge recognition. So we'll see. And Hooker's right there and Felder right on the cusp. So honestly, I think my favorite fight would be Hooker versus Chandler. That would be a fucking war. I would love to see that. That's my preference, but it doesn't seem like anyone's been talking about that as of late. Anyway, we hit on Leon Edwards. Mark Hunt has been in the news lately. He's still battling with the UFC over UFC 200, losing to Brock Lesnar because Brock Lesnar failed a USADA test. Shocking, dude.
Shocking.
Did you not know that going in, Mark Hunt? And why Mark Hunt's all over it now, dude? Every single person he ever fought in Pride, in his defense, everyone is on fucking steroids. Bigfoot Silva. He's fighting. It's dude, they're on steroids. They're open on TRT, on steroids. Everyone you're fighting, Vanderlei Silva, all these guys are on steroids. You know that. Brock Lesnar is obviously on steroids. Don't say yes to the fight if you're going to be mad that he's on steroids.
Brock Lesnar is a steroid.
Dude. Yeah, and they're trying to say, so in the lawsuit, they're trying to say that Dana White knew that Brock Lesnar was on steroids. So by booking the fight, they knew Brock Lesnar was going to win. They were aiding him. It's dude, Mark Hunt, you knew Brock Lesnar was on. I knew Brock Lesnar was on steroids. You know what I'm saying? So it's just I don't know. I don't want to. Mark Hunt's got a bad rap lately. I love Mark Hunt. He's put on entertaining fights for literally over the past 2 decades.
Yeah.
So good for fucking him. But what's your take on this whole fucking situation?
Maybe I think it's a little bit to do with the fact that he knows he's essentially washed up and done. Maybe he's looking for another payday of some sort of compensation, so he can ride off in the sunset with, financially secure. But it looks stupid because the UFC is just kind of trying to push this to the wayside. Cause this is stupid. This isn't important. And I don't blame them for doing that because it is. It's Mark Hunt. Listen, you took this fight against a guy that's obviously on steroids. You fought countless people in Pride and UFC who were on steroids. What are you trying? Where is this coming from, man? I think the real reason he's doing this is because of his age. He's at the end of his rope and he wants to be financially compensated. And I really think that's the end of the story.
I'm with you 100%. Yeah, I don't have much takeaways after that. The only thing that he is saying, well, the one thing, props to Mark, because the UFC offered him $50,000 to just break his contract when they took over, and he was like no, and then he went on that win streak, and then he fought for the interim title versus
Yeah, man,
Verdum,
that was
got
wild.
his ass knocked out. But hey, another story for another day. Anyway, Carlos Condit got another win, so props to him. And I saw people online saying he should fight Dan Hardy. I'm like, well, first of all, UFC 120, we already saw that. Carlos Condit won with the big left hook, but at the same time, I do think that is a great matchup. If Dan Hardy wanted to come back, he's been saying he wants to fight a veteran. He thinks there should be a veterans division. Carlos Condit got a win over Court McGee, who's another veteran. That's a winnable fight. I have no idea what the fuck Dan Hardy's gonna come back and look like. But if I had to put him in there, I'd want to see him fight Dan Hardy. Or Carlos Condit rather. I don't want to see him go in there and fight fucking Colby Covington. That's for fucking sure. You know what I mean? So I think that's a winnable fight for both guys. Age matchup, I don't want to say deterioration because Hardy's been out for 6 years, but it's Carlos Condit's at least been in there. So ring rust is going to be a real thing after 6 years. Hardy said himself, he feels like he goes, I watch my old fights and I cringe. Like he says he's significantly more technical now. And I mean, his job is to analyze fights. So I'm sure that he is, but I think that's a good matchup. Do you have anyone in mind for Dan Hardy?
No, I think
If he
that's
comes
the
back?
perfect matchup because I personally thought that Dan Hardy retired a little bit early in his career in terms of age. Like, how old is he now? He's like 36,
I think
37?
I think he might be a little older. I think he's 38, but I think he retired when he was 32, which they say is 32 is like still your prime.
Right, essentially, and you're still in your prime. So I did think he retired a little early. I do think that Condit's losses look a lot worse than he actually is. And then, that Court McGee fight, I mean, I'm not saying Court McGee's any killer over here, but he is a good measuring stick. And he put on a clinic and he whooped his ass. So, like, what better time is it to get these two legends, these two big names, these two facial recognition guys that will 100% bring viewers to the table, make the
Hell yeah, man.
matchup. They both want it. They're both like at the tail end of their career, but both seem to be a little rejuvenated because of how much time they've spent off. Condit obviously is on a losing streak, but he did take a lot of time off, and he's training at Cowboy Ranch over there, and he looked great. And Hardy, 6 years off can do wonders for some people. Other people maybe not so much, but for a person like Hardy and his caliber and his fight IQ, I think it can do wonders for him. So I think this is the perfect time to make this particular matchup.
Dude, I did not. Carlos Condit is, including his Court McGee win, is 3-8 in his last 11.
I know, it's brutal.
He was
It really is.
2-8. He was 2-8 in his last 10. That's fucking crazy. But anyway, I think that would be a great matchup for him and Dan Hardy. Run it back. They seem friendly. I know people after the fact were saying Matt Brown should fight Condit, and Condit said put that dude in some bubble wrap because they were supposed to fight twice, and Matt Brown pulled out both times. Thought that was pretty funny. So maybe that's what's next for Condit. But who knows? Maybe Dan Hardy doesn't even come back. I do have interest in seeing Dan Hardy come back. I think there's interest there. People are saying Nick Diaz. I don't think Nick Diaz has interest in that fight, but we'll see. I see people saying Leon Edwards should fight Nick Diaz, by the way, and I think that Nick Diaz would be like, if they offered that to him, I think he would slap Dana in his face. You know what I mean?
Never
I don't think Dana wouldn't even waste his time.
No.
Well, speaking of welterweights, Usman pulled out of his fight against Gilbert Burns because he needs more time for his EPO cycle.
Let's just come right out and say it. If there's an undisclosed injury and he needs more time, these are clear-cut words that he needs more time to cycle off of something. There's no injury. He's training. He just needs more time to get off some sort of.
I don't understand what could he need more time? When did he fought international fight? We saw it's July. August, September, October. So it's 3 months up to now. By the time he fought, it would have been 4 months, which is, pretty average time. I saw people online saying, give him a break. He's one of the most active champions. I was like, what?
Okay.
I don't know. That's another story for another day. But we already touched on Burns should just wait this one out. Unfortunately for him, it doesn't. This is where it sucks. Like Leon Edwards, do I think Gilbert Burns should fight Leon Edwards? No, I do not. I think Gilbert Burns should wait. But Usman and Masvidal, or why do I keep saying that? Masvidal and Covington, if they get matched up and, say Masvidal won convincingly or Colby won convincingly, I think the UFC is like, Gilbert who? You know what I mean? Yeah. But then you know what? Honestly, I think they would default to then, here's Leon Edwards, winner gets a title shot, and then you fight him. You know what I'm saying? Like that almost seems like worst case scenario.
But maybe we should wait till it gets to that point, right?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So we will see. What else I got written? Pull out. Oh, Nick Newell, Bellator 250, which is headlined by Lima and Mousasi. That's going to be a sick fight. We already saw Mousasi steamroll Roy McDonald. That was when Roy McDonald went through like a year span where he decided he didn't want to try his hardest, and that was pretty fucking weird. But Lima Mousasi, Lima's a big boy, you know, getting a little later in his career, so maybe 185 is his future. He never had a problem making 170, so I'm not, you know, those are my words. But we're getting that a week after Gaethje and Khabib, so that's gonna be a
back
fun
fire weekends, baby.
Dude, this weekend's fire. Next weekend, Ortega and Korean Zombie, fire. Khabib, Gaethje, Lima Mousasi. We got some big fucking cards coming up.
End of the year, babies. Always
Fucking awesome. Yes, I know. I think December 12th might be UFC 257, I want to say. Ngannou said that UFC's talking to him about fighting Stipe on it, and he already said, he's like, I said yes.
Obviously.
So hopefully he gets that fight. Big fat Ben Sassoli is in prison for 2 years or 22 months, almost 2 years. He's a bouncer in Australia, and he supposedly just knocked some drunk dude out. Too bad he couldn't do it to Greg Hardy. But yeah, so the UFC gave him the old snipperoo.
Dude, he was getting snipperooed anyway.
Dude, seriously. You know what's crazy, though, is like he hit some dude so hard that he's in prison for 2 years. One punch KO'd some dude that's so bad the dude needed facial reconstruction surgery.
Oh, jeez.
That's how hard these dudes hit. And then meanwhile, like he'll go in there in a heavyweight fight, and these dudes just beat the shit out of each other for 3, 5 rounds, 25 minutes at times. These dudes are just a different breed. But sorry to hear it, Ben Sassoli. Hope, you know, best of luck. I'm not hating on you. Just hate to see it, bro.
Yeah.
But other than that, what else is going on in the world of MMA, Mike? You got anything else?
Yo, so I don't know if I know we talked about this a little bit before the podcast, but Mark Raimondi did come out with a very interesting article about the future of mixed martial arts, not even the mixed martial arts, like boxing, WWE, like any combat sport at all. There were just the synopsis of the article, which I thought was really interesting, was that mixed martial arts, maybe not this year, maybe not next year, but probably the following year and going forth, there are going to be problems with finding high quality top tier fighters because of this COVID outbreak this year. So from March 1st to September 1st of last year of 2019, I think the number was in like 36,000 mixed martial arts bouts were, you know, taken. Yeah. And then meanwhile, this year from March 1st to September 1st, it was an 80% decrease. So that means obviously UFC is still pumping out content like crazy. They have the Contender Series, which is pretty much their, you know, catapult system into the UFC. And also you have UFC Fight Pass, which has, you know, Titan FC, which is back now. It's got LFA, which is back now. Cage Warriors, which is back now. So that's all great and all. But like for those regional shows like that are just, you know, in the middle of bumblefuck Tennessee, that obviously aren't the best promotions, but they do breed talent in some aspect to the point where there could be some really recognizable future fighters coming out of these areas. But that's going to be, you know, it's not going to happen anymore because of those regional shows can't financially make a profit by putting on shows because there is no gate. You know, these fighters are having trouble, you know, having fights. So for example, I remember there was a league in the article. They said there was some random ass league where like fighters were traveling like hundreds of thousands of miles to go compete at this no-name mixed martial arts promotion just so they can fight. And it's like they're taking pennies to get this fight because no one else is available. And it sucks because it's not going to affect us now. Like I said, it's going to affect us in the future. So I just wanted to hear what you thought about that in terms of like, what do you think the future holds? How do you think things are going to be eventually fixed? Are they going to be fixed? How are they going to be fixed? You know, just kind of look at it from every angle.
Yeah, I mean, like, so I read one of the things I liked was like how Scott Coker said he basically went to a random show and discovered AJ McKee, and AJ McKee is basically Bellator's biggest prospect. He's fucking good, man. That's awesome. Another story for another day. But he, you know, I don't know how to fix this problem. I don't think Dana White, McMahon, Sean Shelby, any of these guys know at the moment. Hunter Campbell, any of these dudes. I guess, the one thing I do like is UFC is giving guys shots right now that they would never have given a shot before.
I was
So
going to bring that up next, so I'm glad you said that. Go ahead.
So that's, people who have made, at least put off, got their foot in the door to the UFC already. You get a big win. Like there's guys who they're calling up on 2 days notice, have just won $50,000 performance of the night bonus. And now they don't, where they could have been fighting on a local show for 5 years to make $50,000. You know what I mean? Getting $1,000 to show and, win 3. And then that fourth one, you might be in the UFC if you win 4 in a row and then you lose that fight in a tough fight against, another guy who's right at the cusp as well. And you just never even make that for those $50,000. So I think the UFC is extending, not just the UFC, I'm going UFC here just because you touched on the Contender Series, but I think that guys are getting shots they normally wouldn't have gotten, so you love to see that. But yeah, these smaller shows, I don't know how they're going to recover. I have a buddy, Kale, I've been on his podcast for all in all. He's actually working for Ed Soares, working for LFA, doing some stuff. And, it sucks because LFA can only put on shows in South Dakota. Who the fuck is going to South Dakota? You know what I mean? I mean, granted, you can't have fans yet anyway, but those are kind of buried on UFC Fight Pass. Like, yeah, I want those to get more shine. So I really, honestly, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck's going on with the world. Who the fuck knew that there was going to be this pandemic? You know what I mean? I know Calvin Cater's touched on this before. He runs a promotion in Rhode Island or in New England, I should say, like up there. And, he had never canceled the show in his promotion before, and then COVID started and he was forced to cancel. He hasn't put on a show since. So, it's definitely affecting him, but maybe they talk to guys like that. Like you get guys in there and see how it can be fixed. See if maybe now when it comes back, you try to just fucking boost it. Maybe a lot of small shows can get deals with Fight Pass now and just try to, build up everything at once, just like an influx. I'm just spitballing here because, I'm kind of thinking about it on the spot, but maybe that's what they do. Maybe they just bring in a lot of smaller shows and I sit down and I watch, sometimes I just click on random shit on UFC Fight Pass. It's still a fucking fist fight. You know what I mean? But I guess this is really time for guys to hone their skills, stay in the gym, be active, and fucking come to compete. Like, for example, I know John Gotti III, John Gotti's son's son. He's competing in CES, I think, next weekend. And they're obviously really trying to push him. So guys like that, dude, beat him and you're fucking somebody. Obviously they're trying to push him. So you come in there and just seize opportunities when they're taking more so now than ever.
Yeah, it sounds ideal to tell these, up-and-comer guys to, stay in the gym, sharpen your shit, and get ready for whenever all this bullshit passes. But, people need to put food on the table,
Yeah.
So it's like, that's ideal, but sometimes that's not necessarily the case, which sucks because if this COVID bullshit hadn't happened, these are the guys that are going to be emerging in 2 to 3 years. Now that this shit is happening, we might not ever see these guys.
Yeah, I know. It sucks. It sucks for
And
them.
girls.
Yeah, and girls. But like, even, dude, guys like Jeff Neal is a fucking waiter still to this day.
It's wild,
It's insane.
man. Wild.
It's wild.
Savage. All right. Let's go to hairy headlines.
Let's do it. Two things real quick, Mike. I just want to jump in. 2 things that I meant to touch on and didn't. One, this whole Mike Perry corner situation is fucking bananas. Like everything that's going on with it, we didn't touch on that. Darren Till might be in his corner. Hopefully the NJ betting guru, friend of the podcast, go check him out. Like his stuff, comment on the subscribe to him. Do that to us as well. And one thing I wanted to touch on, because we were just talking about up-and-comers, younger guys getting their shine. Sean Brady, Bilal Muhammad.
Dude, that's so fucking
fight.
crazy you just said that, because I was thinking about bringing it up, but it was kind of a random fight. Dude, that's a fight, man.
I just thought about it when I was saying, like, not these lower level, but just smaller guys getting their shine. Sean Brady, I follow him on Instagram. I saw him post, and he only has like 2,000 followers. Like,
I know,
whoa,
crazy.
What?
I
You gotta
know.
message him.
Let's go, baby.
Let's get him on this show.
I know. I'll reach out for sure. Alvarez is boys with him, so
Yeah.
That he's something special, man. We've seen it in his 3 fights so far. A kid's special. Yeah. And then Muhammad obviously coming into his own as of late, being like pretty much somebody that it's hard to, plan for him. He's just such a cardio machine, grappling tight. I'm excited. This is a great fight.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to go right on to hairy headlines. New segment. It's about, I'm going to say a headline from an article, and Chris here is going to tell me what media outlet it is from. So the 3 choices we have are MMA Fighting, MMA Junkie, and our favorite, Bloody Elbow.
Oh God, I should be able to know those. Like MMA Fighting and MMA Junkie might be hard to discern because, dude, it's almost like they swap journalists.
Dude, there also is a lot of overlap. So when I say a couple of these headlines, they might have like a very similar headline
Yeah.
in other media outlets. So, keep that in mind. And some of these are going to just be so outrageous, you're going to be like, bloody elbow. All right, let's see. Where should I go? So where should I start? All right. Flow Sports claims Black Lives Matter support while employing xenophobe Gordon Ryan.
Oh God, that's bloody elbow, 100%. Xenophobe Gordon Ryan. Oh my, he would love that. That would be on his story, 100%. Also, for on the topic of Gordon Ryan, congratulations to him.
Yeah, he did the damn thing.
Did the damn thing again. He fucking talks the talk and walks the walk every dude. No one can beat him. He just beat Mateus Diniz. He is another ADCC champion. He won a medal this past ADCC in 2019, one weight class lower than Gordon. Gordon put up a post. He said, I'm a weight class heavier, so I'm bigger, I'm faster, I'm stronger, and I'm better at jiu-jitsu, so he can't beat me. And Gordon mounted him for the entire fight. I think lasted 9 minutes, and Gordon mounted him for like 8.
Yeah.
So it's like,
domination, man. He is the best. And there's so many. He loves the haters too, and I love the haters, man, because he really is that good.
People said that they're like, oh, you couldn't finish Denise from mount, blah, blah, blah. He's like, dude, I was setting it up the whole time. He was in mount for 8 minutes, and then, like, how could you hit people like, oh, you couldn't finish him from mount? He mounted for 8 minutes, and then within the 1 minute he wasn't in mount, he finished the fight.
Dude, people don't understand. It's not easy to finish someone in mount in jiu-jitsu. In UFC, yeah, ground and pound, but in jiu-jitsu, you're looking for a submission from mount. It's really not as easy as people think. So
yeah. He put up another funny post today. He's like, hey, who wants to come fight me in Brazil? Good news is you sit on the beach for a week like the professional athlete that you are. Bad news is you have to lose to me, like some shit like that. He's like, who's in? Awesome. And Denise is the only one so far that said he's down to run it back. So
hey, props to anybody that accepts a fight with him. Good shit.
Dude, he's a beast. Next.
All right, next. Here we go. Tony Ferguson reacts to UFC 254 scratch. Quote, fuck you, pay me instead of this fucking clown.
Damn. That
I want to make him hard for you.
Yeah, I'll say MMA junkie on that one.
MMA fighting.
I was MMA fighting?
Yes.
Damn. I saw him. Yeah, that makes sense because he said that to Ariel. So I actually saw that interview. That was a good interview. That's why I touched on the Tony Ferguson thing first. I'm sure MMA junkie put us some shit about that too.
Winklejohn compares lockdown to Nazi Germany in wildly inaccurate post.
Bloody elbow. Dude, that's fucking crazy how easy, like, that's crazy, dude.
They're allowed to make opinionated. They're basically saying an opinion.
It is. It's
an MMA outlet. Like,
that's what I said. I tweeted that one time, and I got actually I think I got like 70 favorites on that tweet. I said Bloody Elbow should be the only thing that should be canceled is Bloody Elbow because they put out their opinions their political opinions disguised as MMA news. That's literally what it is.
Quite literally what it is. Okay, here we go. Flying to Brazil means Justin Ledet gets to further flat earth conspiracy.
Oh my God. Justin Ledet. Read that again. I did not know Justin Ledet was a flat earther.
This is a year ago. So I really did some digging to find.
Okay.
So some of these are from not even 2020, 2019.
Okay.
So this one's from 2019. Flying to Brazil means Justin Ledet gets to further flat earth conspiracy. It was a little worded a little weirdly, but that's exactly verbatim what it was.
I'll say MMA fighting.
MMA junkie.
God damn it. See, I keep flip-flopping there.
So I think you're 1 for 3 right now.
I'm right. 2 for 4.
2 for 4. 2 for 4. You're
Bloody
right.
elbows got both of theirs right somehow. It's almost like they're fucking.
All right, here we go. This one's recent. Eugene Berriman echoes Israel Adesanya's call for harsher weight miss penalties. Quote, what's going on is criminal.
Damn. That seems like another junkie fighting one. I'll say junkie.
It's MMA fighting.
God damn it, dude. I just keep fucking this. Theirs is so similar and Bloody Elbows is so outlandish.
That's the point I'm trying to make. Because I was trying to find some outlandish ones on MMA Junkie and MMAfighting.com, and they're really not outlandish.
The quotes, because usually the quote ones, like Junkie and Fighting, they obviously have the same journalists at the same interviews, and their headlines are usually fairly similar.
Yeah.
Like I'll be honest, Ariel, when he was with MMA fighting, was always my most reliable solely because all the best headlines were coming from Ariel. But now that Ariel's doing his thing that we talked about at the beginning of the show, like Akamoto is really pushing, like ESPN now has become a major news source. So now it's like ESPN, Junkie, Fighting, and then Poopy, Bloody Elbow, way down the list. But MMA specific, I think like John Morgan's doing the best job, and Mike Bond, and they're both
those are
Junkie guys. So I think MMA Junkie's on top right now.
Word, I feel that. All right, here we go. On Brendan Schaub and what not to do in the fight against COVID-19.
That Bloody Elbow hates Brendan Schaub, dude.
That's actually MMA Junkie.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Bloody Elbow hates Schaub. Hates him.
Here we go.
Dude, he's a retard.
This one is probably the most obvious one I wrote down. Tito Ortiz has has the dumbest coronavirus conspiracy theories.
That's got to be Bloody Elbow too. They hate him, dude.
All right, let's see.
Because he's a Trump supporter, but
yeah, well, there you go. Automatically political. All right, let's see. Physician has alleged ties to UFC legends charged in fraud, money laundering scheme totaling over 120 million.
Sheesh. MMA fighting?
Yep.
That was worded as an MMA fighting one. Like I saw the black and yellow letters in my head.
All right, here we go. Ready? Fascist fight clubs in the age of COVID.
Oh God. Dude, that's too easy. Next. That's
right,
bad.
Jorge,
that's so crazy. Like you would never see a MMA Junkie like fascist. It's like, dude, what the fuck?
All right. Jorge Masvidal holds nothing back in candid interview about politics with Dan Le Batard.
Well, politics, it's making me want to say Bloody Elbow, but Dan Le Batard, I remember when he was on the show and he was saying stuff and people were tripping.
I'll say it again. Jorge Masvidal holds nothing back in candid interview about politics with Dan Le Batard.
I would say MMA fighting.
MMA Junkie.
God damn it. I remember that whole thing happened. That almost seems like an ESPN headline. Well, it was on ESPN.
Yep. All right, let's do like 3 or 4 more.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Mike Tyson, very interested in charity boxing match with Anthony Joshua.
Jesus Christ. Mike Tyson, very interested in charity boxing match with Anthony Joshua. I'll just say MMA Junkie.
No, it's actually Bloody Elbow.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for them. Completely unbiased. Well, okay. I should have seen that Anthony Joshua. Got an email that popped up from work and I see my name on it. Like, dude, come on.
All right, let's see here. Bisping takes aim at coronavirus complainers. All we have to do is stay inside. Quote.
Bloody Elbow.
Nah, MMA Junkie.
Oh, Bloody Elbow is big on it because Bisping is a humongous mask-wearing coronavirus fear, which seems so odd. Like, it doesn't seem like I mean, it's on par for Bisping to be so outspoken about what he, his views, but like, I don't know. Seems like McGregor too is like tripping about it.
I know it's strange to hear it from certain individuals. It does sound.
And some people are just like, dude, this is not real life.
All right, I got to say this one. Police raid neo-Nazi MMA event.
Dude, what do you mean neo-Nazi MMA event?
In Germany. That's the headline. Police raid neo-Nazi MMA.
When is that from? Like, when did Bloody Elbow write that?
I don't know, dude. Just type it in. If you go to their site and put it in the search bar, it'll come up.
Neo-Nazi. That's fucking hilarious, dude.
So fucking funny. All right, let's do a couple more. Ready?
That's what they touch on. Like, don't write about Poirier about to fight Tony Ferguson. Write about the neo-Nazi MMA fight in fucking Germany.
Thanks for letting us know, Bloody Elbow. All right, ready? Beck Rawlings discusses positive impact of being on OnlyFans. I knew you'd get a kick out of these, bro.
Dude, that's fucking hilarious. Beck Rawlings was super open about it. So honestly, like that could be anyone. I'll just say Junkie, but she was super open.
That was Bloody Elbow. But
It was, but
Junkie covered it too.
they did. Cause I read it and watched I watched her interview. Because I like, comment, subscribe on our YouTube videos, motherfuckers, because I like, comment, and subscribe on every fucking MMA Junkie, MMA Fighting, every Bloody Elbow, definitely not. But everyone else, I watch all these interviews on YouTube, and I watched her full-blown interview about it. So it could have, like, she was so open about it, it could have been anyone. That's fucking hilarious. Because, like, I know Bloody Elbow, obviously, you know, she's a woman, good for fucking her. But seriously, good for fucking her. That's awesome. She is proud of it. So, hey, she's put money, she got 2 sons, putting money, food on the table, so.
Fuck it.
Good for Beck. I mean, she's out there. MMA is, they're wild motherfuckers. Let her, you know, she wants to put up a picture of her fucking titties online for some cash. I'd probably do it if I was a girl at this point. You know
Especially
what I
if you
mean?
can't fight like her.
That's true. Bare knuckle boxing. Like, she's been all over the fucking place.
All right, let's do one more. We got this
viciously KO'd by Paige Van Zandt. Like, super
brutal. Conor sends out SOS to Disney CEO, claims he can't get fights.
Is that Bloody Elbow?
Yeah.
Yeah. So SOS to Disney CEO. Does it say who it is? Is it Bob Iger still? Is he still?
I should have wrote down the person who wrote it, but I did. Next time we do hairy headlines, I'll fucking write it down.
Dude, I love this. This is fun as fuck. I'll do more like this.
I got you, man. All right, last one, because I got so many here.
Yeah. I love this.
Addiction threatens to derail John Jones' jump to heavyweight.
Bloody Elbow.
What?
Addiction. Dude, that's insane that they can even do that.
Yeah.
Dude, so Steffi something from Bloody Elbow, I forget her fucking name. She put out an article one time. It's like, you know, it was just like McGregor's name was in the headline. It was like McGregor, you know, racist, this, that, the other thing. And then someone comments on the thing, was like, how could you even write something so asinine? And she was like, I never said that. And then someone screenshotted like a direct quote from her and sent it to her. And she goes, sorry, I'm trying to put food on the table for my kids. Like, she's basically like, I have to say the most outlandish thing I can for people to read this. You know what I mean?
That's a problem.
That's a problem, dude. Because a lot of people, like a lot of fans, like, you know, interactions I see online, especially people that reply to our Twitter, bro, some people just say things. I'm like, dude, like I'll make like a sarcastic comment, you know, like a fight, like, oh, it should have been, you know, stopped early. People are like, you don't care about fighter safety, clearly. It's like, bro, he was brutally knocked out. Obviously, I was kidding. You know what I mean? Like, people are just fucked in the head, bro. It's just like they read it and react. You know what I'm saying? So,
Twitter's the jungle, like straight up.
Dude.
All is fair in love and Twitter. Swear to God, it's how it is.
And dude, you'll read the headlines sometimes, and it's so taken out of context. Like some people, like good on Ryan Hall, he called out Bloody Elbow, and it's funny. You see a lot of people calling out Bloody Elbow specifically. That's why none of those guys, none of those girls, guys, whoever, are getting the interviews. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and I'm glad you talked about Ryan Hall one. I think we touched upon it maybe a couple weeks ago, but the fact that they took what he said out of context, and it's like, listen, Ryan Hall was out like. Thanks, Bloody Elbow, for taking my words out of context. Please go watch the entire podcast, and then you'll get what I meant by making that. I think he made like a reference to Hitler. Like, listen, Hitler's a part of history. If you want to reference him, do it, and then make sure that you context it the right way so that Bloody Elbow doesn't fucking fuck with you. Dude, but Bloody Elbow, and then people are supporting Bloody Elbow like, damn, he shouldn't have said that.
They did. You think they went to the podcast, listen to what he said, or do you think they just read what Bloody Elbow wrote?
They just read what Bloody Elbow wrote, and then it was retweeted by that fucking Alex Scafferty bitch who does.
Oh God!
Holy shit!
Dude, MMA Twitter, it's so funny. When we started this podcast, I was trying to be like, not PG, but almost like conform to what I was like, oh, you know, like, I want people to listen to our show, so I'm going to side with them. And then after like the third episode, I was like, yo, these two people are losers. Like, I don't want to be this at all. Like, and there has to be like, it almost sounds stupid, but there's a silent majority of MMA fans that agree with us. Like, dude, perfect example. Dude, Luke Thomas me and Luke Thomas were going back and forth on Twitter when I tweeted that when McGregor punched that old dude in the bar and everyone was like going crazy. I was like, dude, I get it. Dude, should have McGregor have punched that fucking old dude in the bar? Obviously fucking not. But guess what? He fights for a living and he was probably hammered drunk, probably doing cocaine, and he punched someone in a bar. The end. I know I forgot. I got punched at the bar. And I punched people at the bar. And I was like, someone said like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you've never gotten to a fight in a bar before? And the kid was like, wow, you clearly need some new friends. I'm like, bro, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Lisa's laughing over here.
dude, yeah, I've gotten into fights in bar because I'm hammered, get beer muscles. So it probably, most people, they're like, oh, I'm sure all your friends have too. I'm like, yeah, because when I got punched, probably Dylan and Evan and Mark and Jackson, they were right next to me fucking throwing punches or getting punched too. Like, what do you mean? Hell yeah, exactly.
Yeah, welcome to New
The
Jersey.
fuck, dude? Yeah, welcome to New Jersey. That was the best, dude. I remember Joe Rogan asked Frankie Edgar if he had any because Frankie Edgar said he's just a wrestler when he started MMA. And he goes, do you have any striking experience? He goes, yeah, from the Seaside Boardwalk.
That's good.
That's
like,
crazy.
yeah, Colby supports Trump. So what? Yeah, Colby said, what about your smoke signals, Usman? So fucking what?
Dude.
Grow up.
It's
Who
fighting,
cares?
like, dude.
It's the fight game.
That shit doesn't bother me. Like, I get it, dude. I have a corporate job. I keep it PG in the office. I do what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? And go on with my life. But, like, I'm sure people in the office are doing the same shit that I am. You know what I mean? Granted, I don't agree with that. The whole corporate America is a whole fucking – that's another story for another day, bro. But I'm not keeping it PC or PG, whatever the fuck, however you want me to use it. You know, I'm just going to be myself. And
we're not PC here.
Yeah, agree with who I want to fucking agree with. Like, fighting is different than anything else. You know what I mean? Like, Dana White's a perfect example. Like, he's a commissioner. I know he's not a commissioner, rather. Like, we're the NFL, the commissioners. He's like the president of an organization. He used to like own the organization. The UFC. I know I saw a stat where he said since COVID happened, the UFC Instagram account got like 2.5 million followers. The NFL, NBA's Twitter accounts have stayed the same. There was even a point where they went down. You know what I'm saying?
I saw NBA's viewing this year was like 7.9 million. Last year, it was like 14.6.
I think you said that because I sent that to the group chat, but I think I got it from you maybe. Dude, that's fucking crazy. And UFC viewership is up big time. People like love you. People are just love to complain, but the UFC is killing it, and you love to see it, bro. People are just – it's just sad, man. It's just sad. Like, I don't get it. And I know, you know what? All my friends agree with me. And I'm sure all your friends agree with you too. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't see, it's all your point of view, but I can't even understand some of these people's point of view.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Like, apparently they can't understand mine. So.
And you can't reason with them either, So like whenever I'm on Twitter and I see something ridiculous.
You're the best at that.
Dude, sometimes I'll just retweet it and write LOL or retweet it and say false, I know they're going to comment it. And then when they comment it, I just, hit the like button, because like I can't argue with these people, but I do want to put them on blast. That makes sense.
I'm going on our Twitter right now because I get some outlandish replies. Like, dude, when I tweeted that thing, like I think I was like Conor McGregor punched like someone in a bar, ... and ... Like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, dude, I think I probably got like, that tweet blew up obviously because like Luke Thomas, Aaron Bronstetter, like both replied to me and they're like, they're both verified on Twitter, two of the biggest reporters in the game, humongous liberals. Like, how could you even like, I forgot what he said, like absurd. This is an absurd take or something like that. And I was like, dude, you're a pussy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I obviously like, dude, you're a pussy wasn't my reply, but.
In your heart, that's what your reply.
You know what I mean? You're like, dude, you're a fucking pussy. Shut up. You know what I mean? Like Aaron Bronson, like Dana White says all the time, like the biggest pussies in the world cover the UFC.
Yeah. No, it's brutal. We need some new reporters. We need some fresh air in there, especially those guys that were tormenting Khabib. Real quick, I wanted to say this guy, one of the examples that I tweeted out, it was like false. The dumbest part of it to me is why anyone in MMA waits for a title shot at all. There's more fights than boxing. Wrong. So if you hang around at the top of the division, even if you lose, you'll get another one eventually. Not necessarily true. They don't even have a problem giving fighters shots off losses. Very specific scenarios. So this guy said 3 different things that were wrong, and I just retweeted it.
Is he saying there's more boxing fights or more MMA fights?
He says there's more MMA fights than boxing. He says
right
in
now,
MMA you have a better chance to I think he's saying in MMA you have a better chance to take another fight and then lose and still get your title shot.
Yeah, but that's the only reason why that's sort of true. The only reason is because in boxing, the best do not fight the best. The best are kept away from each other because there's three different, the WBA, the WBO, and the WBC. You can be the same weight. You could be, in boxing, weights are 3 different pounds, right? So a welterweight, say 147 pounds. You can be a world champion. There's 3 world champions, all that weigh 147 pounds. So they're not fighting the best. So that means like the guy that's 20-0 is obviously going to get the shot before the guy that's 22-3. If you're 22-3 in MMA, you're a champion. For sure. You know what I mean? Because there's one belt at one weight. And the best fight the fucking best. Like Justin Gaethje and Khabib fighting in their fucking prime. Khabib's undefeated. That would have been like Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao fighting in 2012, not in fucking 2018. You know what I mean?
Yep. No, great point. You're right.
Or it wasn't 2018, like 2010 rather than 2016. You know what I'm saying? It's just fucking absurd, bro. So that would be the only reason for that. Otherwise, there's more boxing fights because there's so many organizations and it's been around for 10 times longer.
Yep. All right. Any last words, bro, if we close it out?
I'm just scrolling through our tweets right now to see some of the slack that I get from people, and I'm just laughing. And I've got some pretty funny tweets, and I tweet on this a lot when I'm drunk because usually when I'm watching the fights, I'm drunk, and some of these I'm laughing at.
I remember you wrote, if you don't stand for the American flag, then...
Oh, like, dude, perfect example. Perfect example. Oh, look, I quote tweeted Wonder Boy. Colby Covington is terrible and tries way too hard. You think Wonder Boy really said that?
No, absolutely not, dude. He doesn't stick his nose anywhere. He had problems calling out Leon Edwards. That felt so weird to me. He said that. He goes, that felt weird to me, calling him out. You really think he said that shit? No.
Dude, and then if you read his actual quote, like, I don't even know if they quote him in the article. I don't think they quote him in the article. He basically said, like, Colby Covington compared to Conor McGregor's trash talk is terrible. But then they say, Colby Covington is terrible and tries way too. I'm just like,
let's totally rearrange the words and then change the definition of what he's trying to say.
I quote tweeted and said clickbait, ... bloody elbow, again, the worst. And 22 people favorited it. That's hilarious. Oh,
hashtag cancel bloody elbow. Please, I'm trying to start this trend. Hashtag cancel bloody elbow.
Dude, when I tweet that, I don't care who this offends. If you don't stand for the national anthem, I have no respect for you. It got 30 likes and it has 20 comments on it. And only one, you know what the sad part about that is? 20 comments, one person sided with me.
I know. And then everyone else was like, wow, unfollow. Wow, you just lost me as a follower. Like, good. See
dude.
You later.
You're clearly not listening to this podcast, so that's the only reason why you'd follow us. But anyways, bro, I just thought that was funny. Fuck them. We don't miss you.
Funny. Great episode.
I love doing this, brother. Love it.
All right, everybody. As usual, Matt will be back next week. We'll be shooting the shit as always. I think we're going to try to make Wednesday nights a thing, upload Thursday morning, promote that morning as well, afternoon, and we'll put our picks up for Saturday. Enjoy the fights. Sandhagen Moraes is a low-key banger. If you're missing this one and you watched Holly Holm, then you're really not a mixed martial arts fan, and you're probably not listening to this podcast. So with that being said, be well, everybody. Love mixed martial arts. We'll catch you next time.